Have you ever bought a brand new set of watch hands only to find out that they don't fit on the post? Now, if you try to force them on, you either risk bending the hand, breaking a pivot, or even pushing the upper jewel out of its position, stopping the watch. In this video, I'll show you how to open up watch hands in the right way so that they press on securely without damaging or scratching the hands. You know, when you enlarge the holes in watch hands, it's a very delicate procedure. But if you follow the methods that I'm going to show you today, you'll be able to accurately resize watch hands every time. Now, when you make this adjustment, the goal is that the hole is about 2 to 300ths of a millimeter smaller than the arbor or the post that it's fitting onto. And that way you'll have a snug friction fit that's not going to be too tight and it's not going to be too loose. Most of the modern hands that you run into today are going to be made out of brass. But if you're working on older hands or even high-end hands, they may be made out of steel. So one of the first tools you're going to need is a good set of cutting broaches. Now, cutting broaches are just a tapered, four-sided steel rod that are used to lightly shave away very small amounts of metal as you twist them in the hole. Next, you're going to need smoothing broaches. Now, smoothing broaches don't really cut. What they really do is they burnish the inside of the hole and they smooth and work harden the brass. These are what you use to make very fine adjustments to the holes. Now, many times we only need to make an adjustment of 1 or 2 hundredths of a millimeter, so smoothing broaches are one of our most important tools. Another handy tool for some is a hand broaching clamp. Now, there's modern versions of this tool as well as many vintage designs that you can buy, but they all serve the same purpose. What it is essentially a small vise that has different size holes in it, and it's used to hold the watch hand flat and secure. Typically, it's going to be used to prevent the watch hand from bending while you remount the inside of the hole. I don't particularly like them because they can mar the hands, especially when the hands have some sort of profile like a V shape. So what I do is I just use a small bench block to support the hand while I'm working on it. Now you're also going to need an accurate set of calipers for measuring the post and the tubes. If your broaches don't have handles, you're also going to need a pin vise. Now, pin vices come in handy and they're used to hold the loose broaches securely, which is going to give you a lot of control as you remount the inside of the hole. Now, one of the tougher things to do is enlarging the tube on second hands. And for that, I find the micro drill bits are super helpful, as I'm going to show you in a few minutes. And the last tool that I use is for measuring the holes of the hands, and they're called pin gauges. Pin gauges are a very important tool used in watchmaking, and they have many uses other than sizing watch hands. Now, if you'd like to see a video of what I know about pin gauges, let me know in the comments. All right, the first step is to verify the size of the post that the watch hand is supposed to be fitting on. I'm going to start with the hour hand, and I'm just going to measure the post that it's going on to. And as you can see, this one measures out at 1.5 millimeters. Now, the hands that I'm going to be using have a hole size of 1.2 millimeter. So you can see that we have quite a bit of material to remove from the inside of this hole. Now, normally, you probably wouldn't have to remove this much material, but I just wanted to show you the possibilities of what we can do. Now, if you have the right size hand, and it's just slightly smaller than it should be, Smoothing broaches can make small adjustments in the hundredths of a millimeter. But in our case, we have to remove almost 3/10 of a millimeter, so I'm going to be using a cutting broach. Instead of using one of the hand clamps, I like to just put the hand on a small bench block and hold it with my thumb because I find there is much less chance of damaging the hand. The key with this process is working slowly and having a lot of patience. Now, if you get too aggressive with the cutting broach, it's going to be very easy to break the hand or just to make the hole too big. Now, in order to check my cutting process, I'm going to use a pin gauge that's 1/10 of a millimeter larger than the current hole size in the hand. So currently the hole is 1.2 millimeters. So I'm going to use a pin gauge that's 1.3 millimeters. Now, to judge how deep the cutting broach is going into the hole, I'm just going to make a mark with an ink pen and I'm going to work down to that line, and then I'm going to check our hole size again. Once this 1.3 millimeter gauge can go into the hole, then I'm going to move up to the 1.4 millimeter size, and I'm going to continue enlarging the hole. Now, I'm just going to do the same thing and make small cuts inside the hole until I can insert the next size pin gauge into the hole that I'm working on. Okay, so now that our hole has increased to 1.4 millimeters, now I'm just going to switch to a pin gauge that's 1.45 millimeters. Remember, we want this to be about 2 to 3 hundredths of a millimeter less than the post size, which is 1.5 millimeters. I'm going to continue cutting until the 1.45 millimeter gauge just fits into the hole. Now I can make my final adjustments with the smoothing broach until I can see that there's a little bit more freedom between the pin gauge in the hole and the hole that's in the hour hand. All right, so once it looks good, I'll just give the hand a quick clean and we can install it onto the movement. Working on seconds hands presents a whole different challenge because of the small size of the tube. When we measure this pivot, we can see that it's 2/10 of a millimeter. Now, our hand is listed as 2/10 of a millimeter, so it should work, right? But what you're going to find in many cases is that the second hand is almost impossible to even get started on the pivot. Now, here I have a pin gauge that's 2/10 of a millimeter, and we can see that it's not going into the tube. And because it doesn't fit onto the hand, it causes the second hand to just kind of teeter-totter around on the top of the pivot, making it virtually impossible to install. So, as you can see, we clearly need to enlarge the size of the hole, at least to the point where the pivot will go inside the tube enough so that we can press it on. And the challenge here is that all our regular broaches are going to be way too big. Now, here's a set of micro cutting broaches that just barely fit into the tube, and we can use it to open up the hole just enough so that it sits onto the pivot. Now, if you can find them, they're going to work pretty well. But my preferred method is using micro drill bits, which are widely available in many different sizes from many different suppliers around the world. Here's one that I have that's exactly 2/10 of a millimeter, and I have it chucked into a small pin vise. Now with this hand, and because I have to work with the top side of the hand facing down, I just cover my bench block with a thick piece of cellophane, and I'm just going to very gently insert the bit into the hole, make a couple turns, and then back it out. Now, you don't need to go down into the pipe very deep, just enough so that the second hand is going to sit on top of the pivot. Now, you do want to make sure you clean out the tube, so I'm just going to run a 1/10 millimeter pin gauge through the hole to clear out any brass chips, and then I'm going to clean the hand. Now, with our second hand stable on the top of the pivot, we can press it on. Now, when you're doing this, here's some important things to keep in mind. Always go slow and measure often. You can take more metal away, but you just can't put it back on. Never force the broach. If it binds, stop, back it out, and clean the hole. Make sure you support the hand. If holding it on a bench block doesn't work for you, make sure you use one of the broaching clamps. Make sure to clean your hands after any broaching. Any metal chips left inside a tube will drop into the movement later, causing, obviously, all kinds of problems. And most importantly, practice this on scrap hands if you're new. It's the safest way to transfer what you've learned in this video to get it from your brain to your hands. And because there is so much more to learn, I hope to see you in the next video.